friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Zita, and on my channel I do DIYs and makeovers on a budget. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at OakWell Home. So let's get started on today's DIYs and see what I've created. So today, friends, I'm going to make 3 smash can DIYs for you. So first I started out giving these cans a coat of the Fusion Ultra Grip shown here. And I guess I didn't capture it on video, but you're going to paint that all over your can first, and it's going to dry translucent. And this is going to help your paint stick better to your cans. So I've smashed down 2 of the cans already, and I'm just going to show you how I did that. I don't have a vice grip or anything like that, so I just squish it with my hands and then use a hammer and some pliers there that you see to the side, and what I'm doing now just to squish it a little closer together at the bottom. And if it's a little bit open, you can fix that when you apply your napkin. So now I'm applying a homemade chalk paint that I made. And if you haven't tried homemade chalk paint, I'll leave that recipe in my description box. So I gave them a couple of coats of homemade chalk paint all over and let that dry. And now I'm just picking out some napkins here, and I keep my napkins in a binder, and I find they're easier to find that way. I had them all in a box before, and it's a lot longer to find the ones you want, so this is a lot easier if you haven't tried that. And if you guys are interested in seeing how I put them in the binders and how I divided them up, just let me know in the comments. So now I'm pulling apart the plies on my napkin. And friends, you're gonna want to make sure you get all the plies off. Some napkins are 2-ply and some others are 3. And if you've watched my other smash can video before, you'll see that I messed up. I only pulled off 1-ply of the napkin, and it was a 3-ply napkin, because sometimes the napkins you get from the dollar store are only 2-ply, but I bought some from Ninny Napkins and they were 3-ply, and I forgot to pull 2 plies off because I was thinking they were from the dollar store. So just make sure all the plies are off your napkin, or else it's going to bubble up, and I know from experience. So I've got all my plies off there, and now I'm just positioning out my napkin where I want it. And if you've watched my other smash can video from last year, you'll notice that I used this same napkin, and I didn't realize that until after I had these smash cans done. I'm like, I think this is the same napkin I used on one of the smash cans I did last year, but I'm gonna do something different with this one, so it's gonna look a little different than last year's video. So I'm applying my Mod Podge, and then I'm using some saran wrap, and I'm also using a disposable shower cap that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that has a really soft plastic, and I find that works really well, the soft plastic, because it doesn't rip your napkin. So you're going to want to go light when you're applying the napkin, you know, getting it in, because you'll see all those ridges of the can start to appear, which looks really nice because it gives the smashed can some texture. So, and I kind of start out at one end or the center, then work my way out, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the back of the can. And I'm smoothing it all out, giving it a light touch, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna fold some of that napkin up. I do cut that off, and I think I fold a little bit towards the back. So I'm just using the scissors to cut it off, and let's see if I fold some of this one up. I think some of them I just cut straight across because I got them closed pretty good on the bottom. But this one, yeah, it looks like I'm just kind of folding a little bit of that napkin up around the back. So that's what it looks like. And I'm going to start with my next one. This is the napkin I chose for the second one. Isn't this beautiful? I love the color of those flowers, and it also has some birds on there, and you'll see that the one bird looks like he's smelling the flower. So that's the part of the napkin that I made the front. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just positioning out the napkin to where I want it, and then I'm going to lay my Mod Podge down, and this one I'm going from one side to the other. With the other napkin I applied the Mod Podge from bottom to top, but this one I did from side to side, which I think is easier. And then I left some excess napkin at the top, and then just applied some Mod Podge inside and folded that inside, and then applied the Mod Podge on the back as well. And then once I have that done, I wanted a little bit more floral at the top on the one side, because I wasn't sure what side I was going to use for the front yet. So I just pulled some of the napkin apart, and I'm just ripping it here just so it looks more natural when I'm applying it. And you can't even really tell that I tore a piece of the napkin off and applied it. Like, it really looks like that it was already part of the napkin, just the way it looks. So this works out really well for cans. Like, you can't really tell, like, when you rip off some pieces and apply it somewhere else. So that's the good thing about these smash cans, and like with the ridges, that you have more room for mistakes. And I've made mistakes on these smash cans before. So this is what these two look like. Isn't that napkin beautiful? I love it. So for the third can, I thought I'd try something different with this one. So I have some dollar store clay here that I've had for a while, and I double bag this to try to keep it as moist as possible. So I'm just forming it into a ball, and then I'm going to press that out with a brayer, and I'm going to make it flat and round because I have this flower that I thrifted, and you'll see it coming up here. It's like I don't know if it's a cookie press or what it is, but you'll see coming up here, and you can let me know in the comments if it's a cookie press. So I'm gonna put that out flat, and like I said, I picked this up at, I think, thrift store or garage sale or something like that. I think it was like 50 cents or something like that. And then I'm going to press that into the clay, and it didn't really cut the clay, so I had to end up getting my little clay knife and cutting around it, because it didn't really go all the way through, but it went almost all the way through. So I just took my little clay knife or spatula there and kind of went around the flower and got all the excess clay off. And I'm going to apply that to the can with some glue. And actually, before I applied it to the can with glue, you're going to see me use a script stamp, a little small script stamp that I've picked up at Amazon. I've had it for a while. I've used it on some of my other projects. And if you've watched my Valentine's Day video, you will have seen me use it there on a clay heart. I made like a clay heart dish like that you could put jewelry or something like that in. So if you haven't seen that, you can go back to the Valentine's Day videos and watch that. So it's a little script stamp. So I pressed that in, but I didn't press it in hard enough. I should have pressed it in a little more. I should have used that brayer, because when I did my little Valentine's Day dish, the script turned out really beautiful on the dish. Like once I put the dark wax in there, you could really see that script, but I didn't press it hard enough here, I don't think, and you'll see that once I apply the white paint on it and then the black wax. Like I didn't press that script in hard enough. Then I'm kind of just giving it a little press down with, I think this is like a bottle cap I put in the middle just to make it, give it the center of the flower there in the middle. And the heart dish that I created at Valentine's Day, I used the same clay as well. So it wasn't the clay, it was me not pressing it in hard enough. So I used some hot glue and then some other glue I had on hand there. And I used the hot glue just to give it that quick stick, you know, so it didn't slide down the can. So once that was dry, I think I let that dry overnight. But you could probably paint it right away as well while it's still wet. As long as the glue is on there, it will still dry with the paint on there. So I painted it white, and now I'm back to my other two cans. I'm just applying the Mod Podge on top. So I used Mod Podge on it, and I forgot that I had Mod Podged them. And then the next day, I have this Polyvine glue as well. It's a lot thinner than the Mod Podge. I kind of like that. So if you haven't tried the Polyvine, and this is the dead flat, so it doesn't have a sheen to it. So if you don't want your cans to have like that sheen, because sometimes Mod Podge can have a little bit of sheen, you can use the Polyvine dead flat, and it's a lot thinner and it goes on really nicely. So first I'm putting a clear wax on the flower, just, you know, that way it's easier to wipe off any excess black. Like if you apply the black first, it's harder to wipe off. So the clear wax acts like an eraser. So apply your clear wax and then your black. So you see that like it didn't really show up the script as much as I wanted. So I didn't really like the way it turned out. So I thought I'm going to put a napkin over it. So I had this beautiful floral napkin here, and this flower is beautiful, and I've used this on a couple of other projects in the past as well. If you've been watching my videos for a while, I think last year for Valentine's Day I decoupaged a bottle with this flower. It turned out beautiful. This has like a little script on it as well. So I'm just showing you there that the package said that it was 3-ply. So I made sure to get those 2 extra plies off there before I applied it. So I'm going to decoupage this napkin over the flower, and this is going to give it this like a 3D kind of look, which turned out really, really nice. And then it was just going to be flat on the back with the flower napkin, but I'm just going to use that flower that I put on the front there. That's going to be the front portion. It's going to have that 3D effect. And once I get the napkin applied with the Mod Podge, and then the Mod Podge or Polyvine on top, whichever one I put there, once that was dry, you're going to see me take a marker that I found at the Dollar Tree, and it's almost like the color of the center of that flower there, and I'm just going to accentuate that color by using a marker and kind of just rubbing it in to the middle flower, and then the buds coming out there on the side. And that marker is just going to accentuate those colors a little more, just to make the flower stand out more. So right here I'm just, you know, putting the Mod Podge inside as well, and putting the Mod Podge on top. And right here, I'm just drilling my holes in the side of the can. My drill bit came out there. Now, getting back to the other cans, I have a boot here that is falling apart. And this is one of my boots. So it has a fringe on it. So I'm going to make use of this old boot. Get what I can from it before I throw it in the garbage. So I'm going to cut that fringe off, and I'm going to put it on the first can that I did with the purple flowers. And this is such, I'm so glad that I just cut that fringe off there. It's like you can make use out of like so many things that you're going to throw out, you know, like even scrap fabric and even a boot. And I do use some of the other portion of the boot too. Now this is almost like a faux suede boot, so worked out really nice for this. So I'm just measuring it across the can here, and to see how much I need. I'm not going to put it all the way around. I'm just going to cut off enough so it just fits just around the corner of the can, because you're not going to really see the back anyway. So then I'm going to give that some hot glue to put that, to attach that to the can. Now, this boot is a navy, and like I said, it's like a faux suede. And I'm using my glue finger here so I don't burn my fingers with the glue, which I have done many times by not putting that thing on. So I found those at the Dollar Tree as well, friends, if you're looking for some fingers for yourself to apply your hot glue. So yeah, so that boot is like a navy, so the fringe is like a navy. So you'll see me give that some paint after, just to kind of tie it in with the can. And I did cut out another little portion, and I was gonna glue that to the can, stamp it with those little clickable stamps that I have here that I picked up at Michael's, I think, but I found them on Amazon as well. So I'll put a link for those in my description box if you're interested in getting some of these for yourself. They're awesome. You just click them together, and that way, you know, you get a straight line, because I have some others from the dollar store, but I don't always apply it straight. So this didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. See, you can see the word bloom, but the white ink didn't you couldn't see it on that suede, faux suede. So I decided, okay, I thought maybe I'll just stamp it on the can, but as I was going to do that, I changed my mind. I'm like, I think that's really going to look messy if I just stamped it straight on the can because of those ridges. So what I did is I took a little piece of gift tissue paper, white tissue paper from the Dollar Tree, and I just ripped a little piece of that out, and instead of putting bloom, I put Hello Spring instead. And I use a purple ink, and I got these inks at Walmart. I've had them on hand for quite a while. They have these little ink pads and with all kinds of different colors, and so there's a purple in there because there's purple on that napkin. I decided to go with a purple. So there's what it looks like on that ripped piece of tissue paper. And like I said, friends, like with these cans, ripping off like napkin or little tissue paper, you can't even tell like that it's not part of the napkin or the can, because you can't even really see, like, you know, that it's a ripped piece of tissue or napkin on there. So let your ink dry before you put your Mod Podge or Polyvine on, and then, so I just put some on the bottom and then on the top. And that goes right down there in the ridges. Doesn't that look nice? So now I have some purple leather cord here, or suede cord, and I found this at the thrift store for like 50 cents. I'm just gonna tie a bead on the outside on each side, and then I'm going to put some floral in this one, and you'll see me put the floral in here, but you know, I end up taking it out so I can paint that little fringe. I give it like a dry brush of white first, and then I thought I didn't really do it, so I had some purple acrylic paint on hand as well. So I gave it a dry brush of the purple acrylic paint as well. Put some on the fringe and kind of all over it, and then I actually dry brushed some of the purple on the can as well, like along the top of the can and along the ridges as well. And then that fringe really tied in more with the napkin. So here's the one with the flower that I did that's looking like a 3D over that clay flower. So here's that rose colored marker that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I've had these for a while. So I'm just kind of accentuating that flower in the center where some of the darker color is, and then I'm kind of just rubbing it in here so it doesn't look like marker. It kind of, you'll see that it looks like it's, you know, part of the flower, part of the napkin. Yeah, I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and there was a whole bunch of different colors of these markers. So if you're looking for something like this, check out your local dollar store. So I put some of that color on the buds as well, and doesn't that look nice? See, it brings out that flower a little more. And this is a tie that I got from, I don't know, I think it was some, you know, it's almost like those bread ties, or you know, it was wrapped around a candy bag or something like that. But I thought it was nice and big, and the color was really nice, so it worked out nice. I have a bunch of, you know, scrap fabric and stuff in a box and stuff like this, and so I attached that, and it kind of matches the flower. So then I thought I'm going to have these little glitter stickers that I picked up at the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm going to put some of those pink ones in the center of that flower. And it looks so beautiful with that little bit of sparkle in the middle of the flower. And let me know in the comments if you would have put the glitter stickers on there, if you would have just left it as is. So once I had those little stickers on there, then I put some floral in this one, and then it's on to, doesn't that look nice? I like that little bit of sparkle. It gives it that little bit of extra, you know? Let me know in the comments what you think of this, if you would have done that. So I'm just putting some different flowers in there. You can put whatever flowers you want in there, and then the next cam with the flower and the bird on there, I just added a tie to that one. And this is another scrap piece of fabric from a gift bag, I believe. So what I thought I'd do with that one, I started putting it on there plain like this first, but then I thought I'm going to stamp the script stamp on this, and it turns out so beautiful. I used a green ink, and that's those little ink pads again that I got from Walmart. There were, like I said, I think there was about 6 or 7 inks in like a little pack. So I stamped both sides of that little fabric. And like I said, this is from a gift bag. So if you have gift bags that you're going to throw out and they have like some fabric on them, you can take that off, friends, and just save it for a craft project. Some free stuff that you can use. So these projects didn't cost much. Now you can also use floral foam, or you can use like foam that you have left over from packages to put your flowers in, or you can just put your flowers in without any foam in there. So I put some different flowers in here so you can see how I dress them up, and so let me know which ones you like the best. So I hope that you enjoyed these smash can DIYs today. Let me know which one was your favorite, and stay till the end. I made some videos of these as well so you can see them a little closer. So please give my video a like and a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate all of you being here and watching my video and giving me a comment and a like. I thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video for some more awesome projects. Bye. For my next DIY, I had these old tea cans laying around. So if you have some of these, friends, don't get rid of them. You can make some amazing DIYs with these. So first, what I'm going to do is, again, these are metal. So I'm putting that Fusion Ultra Grip on them. So my paint is going to stick to my cans, to the metal. And like I said earlier, if you don't have any of that stuff, you can use a Rust-Oleum clear coat. And as you see there, it does dry translucent. So first here, because these tin cans have, you know, quite a bold print on them, I am going to paint them black so it's easier to cover that up and I don't have to do as many coats of the color that I'm going to put on there. And also when I distress these back after putting the green on, I will get some of that black coming through. So because I am going to distress it, I did apply a Rust-Oleum clear coat after that black coat was dry, just so when I distress it back, it doesn't go back to the metal. The clear coat on top of that black is going to help prevent the metal coming through when you distress it. So make sure you do that, or else when you distress it back, that black is going to rub away as well. So once I applied my beautiful homemade green chalk paint here, and that was completely dry, I gave it a sanding to make them nice and smooth, and then I wiped away that dust. And now once that is done, I am going to distress the piece, and as you can see, because I did put a clear coat on top of that black is showing through really nicely when I distress it. So these cans, aren't they beautiful? They already had that little beautiful print around the writing, so that was an awesome spot for me to put some numbers. And I'm using the IOD letterpress stamps. These are another great stamps to get if you're going to get IOD stamps. and I'm just applying my black ink and putting it on the circle in those around the print there. So on the other side, so I'm going to kind of make a double DIY with these cans. So on the other side, I'm using these clickable stamps, and I'll put a link in my description box if you want to get some of these for yourself. Now I'm applying a black ink, and I'm going to stamp on the other side of the cans, and I'm going to be able to use these cans in my bathroom as well. So I'm putting cotton balls on one, floss picks on another. Now, as you see, these little clickable stamps do come with 2 of each letter, most of them, and so you might have to use some of the letters, like come back and use the letters on some of the other words. So as you can see there, that turned out really nicely. And again, I'm distressing along the edges of the lids. Now, what I would have done before putting the lid, before stamping on the back, is putting those lids on first before I put my words on, because as you can see, it looked a little high up, too close to the lids. It wasn't really, you know, it looked more center when I didn't have the lids on. So what I thought, I'm like, oh, I need something on the bottom. So I had these little stamps from the Dollar Tree. So if you haven't checked out the Dollar Tree for some stamps, check out your Dollar Tree. So I'm going to put some leaves on the bottom there to balance the words out on the can, you know, so it doesn't look so far up. And this turned out so gorgeous. As Bob Ross says, happy accident, and this was a happy accident. Look how beautiful those little leaves look on the cans. So again, friends, if you have some cans laying around, don't throw them out. You can do little DIYs like this that looks really beautiful. And you know, it did take me a long time to hand paint all of these, so you could also spray paint them instead of hand painting them, you know, how I did the black and the green, but I wanted them to paint them in that green, and I didn't have any spray paint in that green, so I hand painted them all. It did take a while. Now I'm applying a wax to all of these cans, and make sure your ink is completely dry or it will smear, and believe me, I have experienced that. So yeah. So for the other side of the cans where I put 1, 2, 3, I'm going to attach it to this old cutting board here that I had. I painted it, sanded it, and wiped it down, and now I'm going to apply this IOD sprig stamp to this one. So I've used quite a few stamps today. So this is going to be the background for the cans that I'm going to attach. So I'm going to be able to use these cans 2 different ways. If I'm feeling like I don't want those cans in my bathroom anymore with the cotton balls, I can turn them around where I put the 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to attach it to this cutting board and use them like little vases to hold some flowers, and you'll see coming up how beautiful that's going to look. So I just wanted to give you some different ideas that you could use cans for, and these are 2. And you know, there's other ways you could use these cans too. You could use them to hold pens and pencils, or some of your paintbrushes, or cutlery, something like that. Attach it to the board, you know. So don't throw your cans out. Use them for something like this. And isn't this sprig stamp gorgeous as well? And I'm using a green ink on the background. And let me know in the comments if you would have painted this cutting board a different color to apply the stamps and the cans to. So now I have these little clips here that I picked up at the thrift store, and also I have some silver ones in there that came with a garland from some garland that I got at the Dollar Tree, but I decided to use the white clips. So this is how I'm going to be able to use them for either the bathroom or for vases. I'm just using that clips, and if I want to take the cans off the clips, I can do that. So I'm measuring out there with a steel brush that I had on my crafting table there, just to get the right space between the cans, and so I could know where I want to hot glue those little clips in place, and then I can apply my clip my cans on there. And I use the tape on the bottom just so I have, you know, the cans all lined up in at the right height. So I'm just putting my clips in place. First I kept the cans on there, but then I took them off before I glued them down. So once I got to where I needed to put the clips, and I took the cans off and then put them off. Now you'll see here that one of the clips did come off. I guess I didn't hot glue it down enough, or didn't wait long enough for it to the hot glue to sit on there, and one of the cans came off when I was putting one of the clips came off when I was putting the flowers, the lavender, in here. So how I fixed that was just put the hot glue in place, and then where it took the paint off, I use a paint pen to apply the paint. And here I'm putting a sawtooth nail on the back. Now guys, you want to do this before you apply your clips and your cans. I just forgot. So I put it on the edge there so I didn't, you know, mess up my clips. So that's what it looked like before, and this is what it looked like now. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? So here it is with the vases, and there it is in the bathroom. Let me know in the comments which you would use them for. Do you like the bathroom kind of look better, or do you like it as the vases? For my first DIY, guys, I'll be making over these 2 metal tins that I thrifted at the thrift store. I've also seen these at one of the dollar stores as well, and they have wooden lids on the top. So I'm going to make these over into something more of my style. So as you can see here, guys, they're already painted black. I either forgot to record this footage or deleted it by accident. So I did spray them with a Rust-Oleum black spray paint in matte black first, and I just put 1 coat of spray paint of the black, and now I'm painting it in the Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint, and I gave them 2 coats of the chalk paint, and I also painted the lids as well. And I did put the black underneath because I wanted to distress it back a little bit at the end of the project. So right here, guys, I'm just distressing the high points on the piece to bring out the black underneath. And just to let you know, I did seal in that black with a Rust-Oleum sealant, clear sealant as well, just so when I distressed it, it wouldn't distress it back to the metal. So as you can see, all the black is coming through nicely here with the wet distressing. And right here now, I have these 2 knobs that I had laying around that used to be on some old cupboard doors. And I'm going to decoupage some Tim Holtz decoupage paper on here. Has some letters and numbers on there. So I just use this little knob that I had on hand to measure out the size I needed to put on top of the knobs. Then I'm going to place that on there with some Mod Podge. I'm just cutting out the correct size. I've already placed my Mod Podge on the knob, and now I'm going to go over the top of that with some Mod Podge. So this black on the top of the knobs is going to tie in nicely where I distressed it on the metal cans. Don't they look nice? So guys, if you want to change up some plain knobs, this is something that you can very easily do. So right here, I'm just measuring out the top of the wooden lid where I want to place those knobs that I just did. So they still look a little unfinished, guys. So now I'm going to use some IOD stamps and I'm going to put a couple of numbers on these just to make them look more finished. And guys, if you're using new IOD stamps for the first time, make sure you give them a light sanding before you apply your ink. So right here you'll see I'm putting over some masking tape over the upper part of the eye. I had to use the bottom part for the period for the number. So here I'm just applying my ink to my number 2, and as you can see to the side there, I already did my number 1. So apply your ink liberally, but not overly. As you can see, I kind of went outside there a little bit, which I did with the number 1. So here I'm just wiping away some of the ink, and I had some ink on that masking tape the last time when I did the number 1, so I just put another piece of masking tape on the top so none of that ink came off onto the container. But as you'll see, like I said, in the with the first container, I did apply a little bit too much ink, and it got on the masking tape and went outside the number 1. So I do touch it up with some chalk paint afterwards, and it looks fine. So you're going to want to hold it with one hand and then press with the other hand. Don't press it too hard, like don't squish it, because that's when your ink kind of goes outside, gets a little messy. So apply some pressure, but don't press too hard. And right here, I'm just touching up where I went outside on the first one. So here, I'm just applying some clear finishing wax just to make them more durable. And here they are all finished, guys. Don't they look awesome? They look so much better than what they originally looked like. So guys, if you find something like this at the dollar store, the thrift store, you can very easily make it over into something more beautiful that suits your taste. Today, friends, I'm going to be making some fall smashed cans. So this is how they started out. I cut the bottoms and the tops off, and I've already painted them with Fusion Ultra Grip. And if you've watched any of my smash can videos previously, you will have seen me apply that Fusion Ultra Grip. If you don't have Fusion Ultra Grip, you can also use like a Rust-Oleum clear coat. You want something so your paint is going to stick to the metal, so you do need to apply something that is going to bond your paint to the metal. So right here, I have hammered them shut. At first, I kind of just squeezed them shut because they're pretty pliable. Now, if you have a vice grip, that would work really well, but I don't have one, so I use my hammer and pliers and my hands to just squeeze them, and as you can see, they squeeze quite easily with a little bit of pressure and a hammer under a towel there, and some pliers, and that gets them shut pretty good. But like I said, if you have a vice grip, that would probably get them closed really closer together, but this works well for me. So the Fusion Ultra Grip that I applied on these was already dried when I did this, and you could also do that before you apply your Fusion Ultra Grip, but sometimes I just paint my leftover cans in the Fusion Ultra Grip just to have them ready to go if I want to make some smashed cans. Now I'm applying some of my homemade chalk paint, and if you have not made homemade chalk paint before, I do have a video on how to make it, so I'll put that in the description box. And so I'm gonna apply 2 coats of this homemade chalk paint, and I'm just gonna let it dry in between coats. So I'm going to apply the first coat, let it dry, come back and apply the second coat. That way the background is nice and white to prepare for my napkins that I'm going to apply. So this is after the first coat is dry. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of transparency, and you can see a little bit of the can. So this is the second coat, and as you can see, it's going on a lot wider now that it's the second coat. So once I have the second coat applied, I let that dry, and then come back and decoupage my napkins on the smash cans. So make sure your paint is completely dry before you do that. So this is what they're looking like after the 2 coats of my homemade chalk paint. So now I'm going to pick out some fall looking napkins. This is my binder for my napkins and my decoupage paper. So I am going to use these 2 fall napkins. I don't have a lot of fall napkins, but I love these 2. And both of these came from the Dollar Tree. And the other one that you see there with the blue, orange, white pumpkins, that was a new one that I found later on after all my fall projects last year. So let me know if you've seen that one in your Dollar Tree. I love it, but I have done some projects with this napkin right here that I'm using previously. So a lot of the napkins that you buy at the Dollar Tree are a 2-ply, not a 3-ply, but I have seen some 3-ply. So make sure you get all your plies of napkins on, because if you don't, and if you've seen any of my previous smash can videos, you will have seen that when you don't get all your plies of napkins off, it will bubble up, and I've made that mistake before. So I pulled the first layer off here, and it still felt kind of thick, so I went to get my napkins to make sure that it was just a 2-ply, but on the one pack there was nothing that said if it was 2-ply or 3-ply, so I thought it feels thin enough, I guess, so I'm going to apply it and see if it starts to bubble up. I'll know that it's 3-ply, but because it came from the Dollar Tree, I knew that it probably would be 2-ply. Most of them are. So I use a little dental pick to get the napkin off, and as you can see there, my napkins on that second set of napkins there with the 3 pumpkins, that did say that it was 2-ply, so I knew I got that first layer off, so I was good with that one. So now I'm just kind of figuring out where I want the pumpkins to be. So I wasn't sure if I wanted some of that little plaid portion to be on the can or not, but I decided against it and just put the pumpkins on there because they were so beautiful. I would love to make another fall project with these pumpkins. Let me know in the comments, what else would you like me to see me make with those pumpkin napkins? So now that I've figured out which napkins I'm going to use, and I've cut them out and have taken the plies off, I am going to apply my decoupage medium. So for this first one here, I'm using Mod Podge, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that I do it, so you can do it whatever way you want. So first, with this first can, I'm applying the Mod Podge on the whole front here, and I'm just applying the napkin to the front portion. But with the second can, I'm going to use a different decoupage medium, and I'm going to apply the napkin to the front and the back. So once I get my napkin placed out there where I want it, I get a little piece of Saran wrap here to smooth out my napkin, get it in all the creases of the can there, and I smooth that out and just cut the excess napkin off, and like I said, I'm just gonna have that napkin just on the front, and you know, later on if I want to do something different on the back, I can do that, like for Christmas, or if I just want to just save my napkins and just use the front, because usually when they're hanging you're just gonna see the front anyway. So I'm just going to cut that excess off as well, and decoupage it to the can, and that's it for that one. And then I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to smooth out the rest of the napkin there and just fold that over. So when you smash your cans, like at the bottom, and there's a little opening, this is what you can do to solve that problem. Fold your napkin over it, and that way you don't even see those gaps in the can. So that's a good way to hide that. So I'm still smoothing that out with my Saran wrap, and that's looking pretty nice, isn't it? I love these napkins. Like for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree or $1.50, that's a great price for all of those napkins that you can make so many projects with. And you can see all the ribbing on the can there. So the next one, like I said, I'm going to use a different decoupage medium, and I think first I started out with the Mod Podge. Oh no, I am still using the Mod Podge here actually, but for the top layer I'm going to use a different decoupage medium on this can. and I'll show you that later. So right here, what I'm using is a disposable shower cap. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and I find they have a really nice soft plastic, even softer than the saran wrap. So they're really nice for smoothing out your napkins, so you know you don't rip them. So I'm still using the Mod Podge. So with this one, instead of putting it all on at once, I kind of went like halfway or quarter way, and then put a little bit more, smooth that out, and then put a little bit more Mod Podge and smooth it out. And so you can pick whichever way you want to do it. This is I show you both ways, so you can try out both ways and see which way you like it the best. Some people like to do it this way because if they find, like, you know, if they apply it to the whole can, and then once the napkin sticks, you're kind of committed to where it sticks, instead of doing it this way where you have a little bit more control over where you want to put your napkin. So this one I am applying to the front and the back, and then I'm going to cut the excess off and stick that inside the can, and fold a little bit over there towards the back. So my friends, if you have not subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. It's free, at no cost to you, and it really helps my channel grow. And if you could smash that like button and give me a comment, that also helps YouTube know that you're enjoying my video, and it'll help my channel grow because it'll show my video more. So if you could please click that subscribe button and the like button, and give me a little comment in the bottom and let me know what you think of these projects. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. So right here I'm applying my top coat of Mod Podge, and I'm going to put that on the front because I don't have anything on the back. I don't need to do that. And once I have that applied, I'm just going to let that fully dry before I do the rest of what I have to do with the can to finish it. So for this one, I'm using, this is a thinner Decoupage medium. It's not as thick as the Mod Podge. So sometimes I like to use that because I find I get less wrinkles with this one. Because it goes on a little thinner, and you can go a little lighter with your touch on the napkin. So thought I'd try that one and let you guys see that one as well. And let me know in the comments what you prefer to use. Do you like the Mod Podge, like the thicker glue, or do you like something a little thinner? Or do you water down your Mod Podge? So let me know in the comments what you do for your smash cans. So this is what they're looking like after the Mod Podge and the glue has dried. So now I'm going to put some holes in the side of the cans with my drill there, and I'm going to use some cotton, like I think it came from a gift bag, the cotton rope or handle that I'm going to use for this one with the 3 pumpkins. And for this one right here that I'm drilling, I'm just going to use a jute twine. So that's what I'm going to use for the handles. And then I'm going to put my florals in. I just used what I had there, whatever I had in a drawer. I kind of just picked some stuff out and put inside, so I didn't have to spend any more money on floral. So here I have some leftover burlap from last year or the year before. So that's what I'm applying to the bottom of that one. So I'm just putting my hot glue along the edge here, and I'm just using my little finger press here. Friends, I'm sure if you're a crafter, you know that glue is very, very hot. So pick up some of these little finger dabbers for yourself to avoid getting burned by that glue, because it will burn you if it gets on your hands. So right here, I'm just pulling out some excess burlap and giving it a little bit of a fringe. So that's turned out pretty cool. And I just put that on the front. Now I'm just putting some glue on this floral foam so I can stick my floral in that. And I'm going to apply my floral, and then that's it for this one. So right here, I'm applying that handle from a gift bag that I was telling you about. So this is the second can now. So this is a little bit of a thicker handle. So I'm just putting it from the outside to the inside and then just tying the knot inside, so you can't see that. So then I'm going to fill this with some different floral, and putting my floral foam inside here first. And you don't have to do that. If you have some florals that will just stick in there, that'll work too. So with this can, I'm just putting less florals, and I'm putting some little pumpkins in there to make it look even more fall-like. and some leaves, and I am putting a little bit of moss in this one as well, that you'll see me do after I have everything in there, that I thought I'd like to try some moss in this one. And so I'm just sticking that little pumpkin on a wooden skewer stick. And these little pumpkins are from the Dollar Tree that I've had laying around. And here I have some bendable wire that I had in my stash. I'm just wrapping it around my pencil and giving it a little twirl there. And I'm going to put that in the can as well, just for some added decor. And then at the bottom of this can, I'm using a little bit of trim that is from some drop cloth. So it's the end of the drop cloth. So don't throw that away, friends. Keep that, because it's a great little trim piece for your cans or for other projects that you do as well. So I just kind of throw those in a scrap box that I have a lot of different scrap fabrics and stuff like that little handle that I put on there. You could also use shoelaces as well for handles. So here's where I'm putting a little bit of moss, and then this one is complete. So let me know, friends, what you think of these two fall smash cans. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, give me a like and a comment, and let me know where you're from and introduce yourself. I would love to get to know you and have some more crafting buddies. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some inspiration. This is what they look like before, and this is what they look like now. Let me know what you think, friends. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. I'm going to be sharing with you some smash tin can wall pockets, and I'm going to place them on a board so they can be hung on a wall. And I'm also going to share with you guys the mistakes I made along the way, so you guys don't waste your time and energy doing the mistakes I did. So first, I had this whole bunch of cans. I wanted to get a whole bunch done because I'm going to make some more single wall pockets in the future. So I applied a Fusion Ultra Grip to all of these cans, guys, and I let them dry for a few hours and some overnight. And then I applied a couple of coats of my homemade chalk paint. Now, guys, you're going to see here coming up, I've applied the 2 coats of chalk paint, let it dry, and some of these cans had a rounded bottom instead of the straight edge bottom. And this was a real issue for me. I could not get these cans opened for the life of me. I tried a little camping tool as well. They would not open. So I did this whole lot of cans, guys, painted them up, and there was one can in the bunch with a straight edge that I was able to get open with a can opener. So check the bottom of your cans first, guys. So here's that little camping tool. I tried to get the rounded edge ones open and they would still not open. So I had to start fresh again, find some cans with that bottom straight edge, the same as the top. And so what I did first was just removed the top and bottom of the cans, and then I squished them. Got them into shape with my rubber mallet here on the bottom, and I used some pliers as well just to get them closed a little better. But try to get them closed as much as you can, guys, but if you can't get them completely closed, like seamless, it doesn't matter. Like you don't even really see that, and sometimes your decoupage paper will go over the bottom of that. You can kind of just flip it over the bottom. So I'm just squeezing it tighter here. So I would suggest doing it this way, guys. So get your top and bottom lid off first, so you know that it's not a rounded edge. And guys, if anyone out there knows if there's a can opener that will take off those bottom rounded edges, please let me know in the comments, because I still have all those cans left over, and if I can get them open, that would be great, so I don't have to waste my time in painting some more. So once I had them smashed, I put that Fusion Ultra Grip on, let that dry. Then I put my homemade chalk paint, a couple of coats, let that dry, and now I'm using this beautiful Tim Holtz Botanical decoupage paper, my Mod Podge, and then I have a small brush to apply my Mod Podge. So this is what this paper looks like, guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've used this paper on so many projects, and I absolutely love it, and I think people really like this paper as well. So I just cut my paper so it would fit over the back slightly. I'm not going to put it all the way around because I'm going to be putting these wall pockets on that board that I showed you there earlier, so you won't see the back, so you don't really need to cover up the whole back. As long as it's around the edges, then that's good. And guys, how I apply my Mod Podge is I work from the center out, so like half and half. So apply your Mod Podge, put down that half with your saran wrap, and I actually use an old shower cap which has really soft plastic. I just keep this in my craft room, and whenever I'm doing decoupage, that's what I use. But you can also use saran wrap. It's a nice soft plastic, so you won't rip your paper. So here, as you can see, I'm just folding over that paper just around the back, and then I'm gonna do my other half and do the same thing, fold it around the back, and then fold up the bottom, and I also put a coat of Mod Podge all the way around the back, just to seal in that chalk paint and just to protect it from rusting. So guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And once you finish watching this video, please give it a like and a comment. I work really hard on these videos and all of these projects, and I'm trying to grow my channel, so I would really appreciate a like and a comment. And if you could please consider subscribing, I would greatly appreciate that as well. So right here, I'm just folding over the edge of that decoupage paper, and now you're not even going to see that little bit of space that was on the bottom of the can. Don't they look beautiful, guys? This is the next day after they've dried, and that decoupage paper was on those cans so smooth. So here's the scrap piece of board I had in my pile, and I'm giving it a coat of my homemade chalk paint. And guys, if you haven't tried that, I'll leave my homemade chalk paint recipe in the description box. And this black paint I put over the white because I decided to go in a different direction. I'm going to use a crackle medium on this, guys. So I painted it black underneath so that crackle color would come through. So here I'm applying my crackle medium, and I think this is by Folk Art. I'll put it in the description box. And this black paint I put on there, guys, is also a chalk paint recipe as well. And once that was dried, the next day I applied a thick coat of my homemade chalk paint on top of there. And guys, right before my eyes, that crackling started to happen. It was so amazing to see. So you see the crackle starting to happen right away, but then once it's completely dry, it's like really crackled, and you'll see coming up here. It looks absolutely beautiful. So guys, this is what it looks like the next day all dried. So once it was dried, I put a coat of polyacrylic on here to seal everything in, to make it stay beautiful, just in case someone wants to put this outside. So I let that dry, and now I'm putting a sawtooth hanger on the back so people can hang it where they want. I'm going to be selling this project, guys. So now I'm going to place my cans where I want them, and you're going to see a couple of other mistakes here I made, guys. So first I thought I'd try a nail gun, but it didn't work. It went through the can, and I think it went through the board, but I could not feel it on there. Maybe it went down too fast. So here's, guys, is another big mistake I made. I meant to put a board underneath my cans, not on my actual project. This is what I meant to do. So keep your mind with you, guys, and get a piece of plywood or some wood so you can drill your hole through your can and not your project. And I actually think I drilled down to my desk, guys, so be mindful of what you're doing. Must have been in La La Land there somewhere. Anyway, so I got my drill out and some screws. So I already had the hole there in the one board, so I just needed to get my screw and my drill, and that one was done. And I did the same thing with the bottom, and I didn't need to drill a hole in the board. You know, putting this screw through with the drill was enough. It's just a soft piece of wood, so it's not really necessary to pre-drill a hole in it. And guys, I put some lavender in this, and I was gonna put it in this, you know, floral foam, but I don't know, it wasn't working out, so I just folded it up and put it inside the cans, and it worked out really well. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think of this beautiful hanging smash wall cans. I am absolutely loving it, and I'm loving that crackle. So guys, I hope this gave you guys some inspiration for your smash tin can wall pockets, and I hope to see you in the next video, and please consider subscribing, and don't forget to give this video a like and a comment. See you in the next video, guys. Bye. So for the next DIY, I have this can that I painted up white here. And if you've seen my last video and a video from last year where I did some smashed cans, these are the cans that had the round bottoms that, you know, I painted a whole bunch of cans, not realizing that, you know, they've changed the bottoms on a lot of cans now where they're round, and I don't have a can opener to open those round ones. So if you guys know of what type of can opener will open those round bottoms, please let me know in the comments. So there I'm just making sure I have all the plies off my napkin, And these I got at the dollar store, so I was checking the napkin package there to make sure that they were only 2-ply. So, because a lot of the dollar store napkins are only 2-ply. So, and I have napkins from Knitting Napkins that are 3-ply. So you want to make sure you get all those plies off, or else your project's going to be messed up. It's going to bubble up. And I know that mistake because I've done that one too. And if you've watched my smash can videos from last year, you will see that I caught that with the bubble. I didn't get all the plies off. So this is another great idea for a can. So I thought I didn't throw those out, the ones that I painted last year with the round bottoms. I thought I'm going to keep them and make another project. So the day has come where I'm making another project. So I'm just applying my Mod Podge all the way around the can, applying a little bit and then smoothing out my napkin. And I love how all those rings from the can are like showing through. I think that really gives the can some nice texture. What do you friends think of this napkin, this lemon napkin? I like it, and I like the yellow and the blue together. So here I'm taking off any excess napkin and cutting off the top, and then I'm going to Mod Podge the remainder of the top inside the can, and for the bottom I am just going to sand that off once the Mod Podge is dry. So you need to wait till your Mod Podge is dry before you sand off any excess napkin, or else it will rip because you know the Mod Podge is still wet. So this is after it's dry. I'm taking off any excess napkin there and just applying a little bit more Mod Podge there to make sure everything is attached down. And here I'm going to make a cover for the top of the can. So I'm going to make this into like a little canister, and you know, you could also use it as a vase too if you want. You know, you could put whatever you want inside this little canister. So this little wood round I got at the dollar store. And so I'm going to paint both sides with my homemade chalk paint. And if you haven't made homemade chalk paint, I'll leave that video in the description box. And I've made a lot of colored homemade chalk paints recently as well. If you've been watching my videos, you'll see that I made a beautiful green homemade chalk paint by combining a bunch of different green colors. That turned out beautiful. So if you haven't seen those videos, go back and watch them. I've made a lot of great projects. So here I'm using a polyvine varnish in clear dead flat, so not going to get the glossy glow that you sometimes get from Mod Podge. This is going to dry flat, and it's a lot thinner than Mod Podge too. I kind of like this sometimes for a top coat. So once my little wood round is dry here with the paint, I'm going to put the Mod Podge on this, and the leftover napkin with the blue stripes, I'm going to put that on top, and that's going to tie in nicely with the rest of the can. So here I'm sanding off the excess on the bottom, and that's what it looks like. Doesn't it look nice? And I'm going to do the same thing with the little top cover there. Is sand all the excess off, and then I applied the top coat of Mod Podge. And once that Mod Podge is dry, I am going to take these had some little wood blocks there. These are from the dollar store as well. I had these little white beads too, but I went with the block because I thought the square block kind of went with the stripe, you know, instead of the round. Had more straighter edges. So now I'm just painted that up and used some hot glue and put that on top, and there it is. It's finished, and So that's what it looked like before, and here's what it looked like now. Isn't that adorable? I love it, and I love those colors. It's nice and bright for the spring. So let me know what you think of this. This be great to do for a big coffee can too. Here it is as a vase with some lavender in there that goes really nice with the blue and the yellow. So friends, I hope you enjoyed these two projects today. I really appreciate you sharing some of your time with me. Don't forget to give me a like and a comment, and hit that subscribe button. That's going to help my YouTube channel grow, and I would really appreciate it if I... For my next DIY, these are recycled tea cans. I got some tea for, I think it was a Christmas gift, so I had these left over, and these are awesome cans to do something with, you know. So these are metal cans. So what I'm going to do first, because, you know, paint doesn't stick great to metal, so I'm using my Fusion Ultra Grip, and I put a layer of Fusion Ultra Grip on there to help it stick. Now I'm showing you a spray can there as well, because you can spray paint these as well. That might be a little quicker, so I just thought I'd show you that, just to show you another option. But I have my black homemade chalk paint here that I'm going to use up. It's almost gone, so I'm just using my paintbrush, and I'm just going to paint them with my homemade chalk paint, but you can also use the spray paint. But yeah, make sure you put like a Fusion Ultra Grip on there, or something that's going to help the paint stick to the metal and stay on the metal. So don't forget that first step, a layer to help your paint stick. So I'm just giving the cans a coat of black paint all around, and on the top there with my little sponge brush so I don't get too heavy on there, and then on my lids. And I'm putting the black on there first, again to cover up that print on the cans, and so I don't have to paint as many coats of my next color. So my next color is going to be a homemade chalk paint as well. So this is what they look like once they're all dry, and I didn't paint the bottoms because it was just a nice gold on there, so I didn't bother doing that. So here's another homemade chalk paint that I made, this blue color, and you may have seen me paint a cutlery box recently in this color that turned out really beautiful. And a decoupage the cutlery box. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go back and take a look at that, and you can get a bigger picture of what this blue looks like. So I think I put 3 coats of this chalk paint on all the cans just to get a nice solid color. And let me know what you think of this blue color. And if you've watched my videos recently, you will have seen me make over some other tea cans that look a little different than this. They had like they were Laura Secord cans, and they had like a little print on them, so I painted them and distressed that little print on them, and they turned out beautiful. And I painted them a beautiful green color. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and look at that one. They're absolutely beautiful. I made like a little bathroom set from them. So I'll put that in the description box, and if I forget, just go back a few videos and you'll see that. So after the 3 coats of paint were dry, I gave them all a light sanding with a really fine sanding sponge, just to make the cans nice and smooth to do my next step, which is apply some stamps. So I'm using some stamps from the Dollar Tree here, friends. So if you haven't been to the Dollar Tree lately, go and check out their stamps. They have a lot more in. So all these little stamps are from the Dollar Tree, all those ones you saw me looking at there. So I'm just trying it out there to see which flower I want to use, but you can just peel those off and then you can see the picture and then try it on your can, and you can get a good idea of what it's going to look like. See, there's black, so you can really kind of tell what it's going to look like once you apply your black ink to that stamp. So I really like that they have it like that. I think the IOD stamps are like that as well, but that will give you an idea of what the stamp is going to look like on your can. So I do end up choosing the flower there, and I'm using a black ink, and I'm going to apply my ink to that flower, and I'm just lifting up my paper there so I don't get it on top of my paper. And again, when you're applying this, hold it with one hand like you see me doing there, and then just press it with the other hand. That way your stamp's not going to slide around, because if you start pressing with both hands, that stamp is going to slide around. So just keep it steady with one hand and just apply pressure with the other. So I got my cans lined up here, and I'm going to ink up my stamp again, and just line them up so that way I can, you know, get an idea of where to place my next stamp. I'm just eyeballing it. And I do that with all 3 cans, and after that I'm going to apply this beautiful little bee stamp that was also, I think it was with this set or another set of stamps from the Dollar Tree, but I think it was with this stamp too, a little bee that's going to look like it's going to land on these flowers. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll show you what it looks like there. So that's what it looks like with just the flower. So now I thought, oh, it needs something else. So there's that little bee. It had a couple bees on there. Yeah, so it was on this same set. So, and again, because it has the black print already on the plastic, it can give you an idea of like where to place it and where it's going to look good, or if it's going to look good at all. So now I just place my little bee stamp down there, and that way it'll give me an idea where I want to place that stamp. So I'm just holding it with one finger and then applying pressure with the other. Look how cute that looks. I love it. It looks like he's going in to land on that flower. I love it. Let me know what you think of this little bee. Would you have added the bee to these cans, or would you have just kept it with the flower? Let me know in the comments. So I'm going to add the bee to all 3 cans. And once I have that done, I thought I'm going to put some numbers on the other side of the cans in case, you know, you want to change up the cans, you want a different look, you still want to use the cans, but you just want a different look for a different season or a different purpose of the cans. So I'm just going to stamp the other side of the cans with some numbers. And like I said, if you've watched my video where I did some other tea cans, the green ones that I painted for a bathroom set, I did put numbers on the back of those as well. And I'm applying my last little bee there, and then I'm going to start with my numbers. So friends, if you haven't seen me post new videos in a little while, it's been, I think, a few weeks since I posted a new video. I started a new job recently, so I've been really tired trying to get as much done as I could possibly get done with the time I have. And also I'm trying to enjoy some of my summer as well. So I hope you're still going to support my channel when I do post new videos. So yeah. So I'm hoping you're going to like this video today. So those number stamps that I'm going to use are IOD stamps again, and it's the letterpress stamp. And this is the thin mount from IOD, and this is a little stronger plastic. You see I have some plastic to the side there that I kept from my IOD transfers, and it's a really light bendable plastic, so I thought I'd cut a little piece out of that thin mount so it's a little more sturdy for me to apply the numbers. Now sometimes you can just take the little stamps and apply it just as is without putting it on a thin mount like I did with the bee and the flowers, but these numbers were a little too tiny or to grab hold of, so I thought I would put them on the thin mount. Plus I put them on the thin mount as well because it has like a little graph on the thin mount, and that way I was able to line up the numbers easier, because I have just applied these without putting them on a thin mount before, but I just wanted to get them all lined up as best as possible. You'll see me show you some wax after this, some clear wax. Usually I put a clear wax on them after I let the ink dry overnight. So friends, don't put your wax on right away after you apply this ink or it will smear. Let it dry overnight and then wax up your piece. But I haven't waxed them yet, but I do usually wax them because I'm not sure if I want to apply something else below or above, or below and above those numbers that I put on the back. So once I figure that out, I will put some wax on there. So this is what they look like before, and this is what they look like now. Let me know in the comments, friends, what you think of this DIY and what you think of both of these DIYs, and just give me a like and a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here as a DIY friend. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, and enjoy your summer.